If you think every home in San Jose is selling over the asking price right now, I need to show you something. In the last 90 days, I pulled the actual sales data for our market, and what I found is not what most people expect. There are homes that sold at 120 to even 132% of the list price in under 10 days. Multiple offers, sellers who walked away genuinely stunned at what they got. And in that exact same 90-day window, homes in the same neighborhood sat for 60, 80, or even 100 days. They took price cuts and closed at 95% of the list price, sometimes less. Same city, same interest rates, and same market cycle. So what is actually separating those two very different outcomes? Because I promise you, the answer is not what you'd expect. Here's the honest truth. San Jose right now is not a hot market. It is not a slow market. And what the data actually shows might surprise you. Let me show you exactly what I mean. The first thing I want to challenge is the story sellers are telling themselves right now. I hear two different versions constantly. Either it's still super hot, I'll price high and see what happens, or the market is softening, maybe I should wait. And honestly, both of those miss what's actually going on. Because the last 90 days of sales data across San Jose tells a very interesting story. In neighborhoods like Willow Glen, over half the homes that sold went over the asking price. 20 out of 81 sales hit 110% or more of the list price. Homes closing at 116, even 123% of asking in less than 2 weeks. Now that's real money. At the same time, across those same neighborhoods, 14 to 16 homes per area closed at 95% or under. Some of them were excellent homes, great condition, good streets. They just didn't perform. That is not a hot market or a cold market. That is a precision market. And that gap in some cases is 6 figures wide. So look, most sellers assume the gap comes down to the house itself. Condition, remodel quality, lot size, and yes, those things matter, but they are not what is driving this spread. The biggest separator I'm seeing right now by far is the pricing psychology. The homes pulling 120% of asking, they are intentionally priced to create competition. The homes that sat and cut, they were priced to test the market. That single decision changes everything downstream. And here's why. Buyers today are sharp. They track days on market. They compare price per square foot across every home in their target area. The moment they sense overpricing, they hesitate and they move on. And hesitation kills momentum. The first 7 to 10 days on market, that window determines almost everything here in Silicon Valley. When a home launches and showings are strong and offers start coming in fast, it sends a signal to every buyer who's been watching. This one is very desirable. I need to move on it. And that signal is what creates the bidding environment. But when a home sits, the narrative flips. Buyers start asking what's wrong with it. Their agents tell them to wait for the price reduction. And I'll be real with you, once that reduction happens, you've lost your leverage. Now buyers feel like they're negotiating from a position of strength. They come in low and they ask for concessions. They know you've been waiting and they use that against you. That's how a seller goes from expecting 115% over the asking price and settling at 94%. Same house, different strategy. So when I sit down with sellers, I always walk through 4 things before we ever talk about a number. And this is where most sellers, and honestly most agents, move too fast. First, micro demand in your exact pocket, not San Jose broadly, not even your neighborhood, your specific street. I've been working these markets for over 20 years and I can tell you, 2 or 3 blocks away can mean a completely different buyer pool and sometimes $100,000 in value. No algorithm like Zillow picks that up. And second, your active competition. Not what closed 6 months ago, because I see sellers come in anchored to sales from last spring, and I get why, but what actually matters is what buyers are choosing from today, because those are the homes you're up against the moment you hit the market. And third, your price band. The 1.6 to 2 million range across most San Jose neighborhoods right now has the deepest, most competitive buyer pool. Above 2.5 million, the pool thins and precision matters even more. A home at 1.7 million and a home at 2.8 million are completely different pricing strategies. And fourth, strategic list price. Not the number that feels right, not the number your neighbor got. Strategic price. The homes selling at 120% and above are almost always priced slightly under perceived value on purpose, and that's to trigger urgency and drive competition. The homes priced at what I want invite negotiation instead, and right now negotiation favors the buyer. So my name is Kip, and I've been a licensed broker here for over 20 years in Silicon Valley. Besides being a top producer, I've sat on the ethics committee here for over a decade, and I've also managed and grown an office for the #1 brokerage in the country, overseeing billions of dollars in sales. And what I love more than anything is helping buyers and sellers here in Silicon Valley. And here's what I really would like you to take away from this. The data from the last 90 days is clear. San Jose is not rewarding optimism or hope. It is rewarding precision and strategy. There are sellers walking away from this market genuinely thrilled, and there are sellers wondering why their listing didn't perform the way they expected. The difference is almost never the house. It is the positioning before the home ever hit the market. And you know what? If you're thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months, don't guess. Don't rely on Zillow. Don't base your number on what your neighbor got a couple years ago, because the cost of getting this wrong is not small. We're potentially talking 6 figures. So if you'd like to know where your home would likely land, whether you're looking at a 95% outcome or 120% outcome, reach out. I'll put together a real breakdown specific to your property, your street, and what buyers in your price range are actually doing right now. No pitch, no pressure, just a real conversation, because in this market, those first 10 days decide everything.
Hey guys, for more content similar to this, smash that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.